Hi, I'm Crazy Cat 648, or you can call me Grace, and today I was building a bee honey kind of inspired house. In this one, I usually do more cottagey, smaller kind of builds. In this one, I wanted to make it a bigger fantasy kind of build, and so I wanted to make it where this layout was a lot bigger than what I usually do. I used stripped spruce logs, and I wanted to make sure it looked unique from all angles. Also, if you see people pop in on screen from time to time, those are my friends, and they were playing with me during this recording. And so here I was just figuring out what frame I wanted, what kind of silhouette. And I did have a bit of a reference sheet build section behind me where I had the roof design I wanted, different block palettes, path design, lamp design, flower bed design, a bunch of different stuff. It really helped to figure out what exactly I wanted. Then I just started to build up each section, each pillar, and I made them each 5 blocks tall, because when you have it where there's 5 blocks on a window, the window can fit pretty perfectly on it. And I was changing the height and design and placement for each pillar, and then I connected them. This is what I like about wireframing, is when you have it where you can change the height of each pillar, and you can change the design without actually going in walls first and then having to fix an entire wall. You can just change a few pillars. And so I was fixing the design as I went and making sure it was a nice even silhouette of blocks. Oh, don't mind the chickens. They'll be gone in a second. But I was just fixing all the blocks, changing some of the heights, and just connecting them all. And this really helps so I can see what exactly the house will turn out like once I'm done. Oh, now the chickens are gone. And then just connect them. It doesn't have to be the frame doesn't actually have to be part of the build. You can just have it where you have an entire you can have an entire house made of quartz blocks. I don't know why you would do that, but you don't have to actually have it where you have a physical log framing or a quartz pillar framing. You can just have it where this is the outline. And so I was just fixing it up and just putting on the final pieces. And then I went in to make the roof of the build. This one I used dark oak stairs, dark oak trapdoors, dark oak slabs, dark oak gates, and unstripped spruce logs. Now for this, people might be like, oh, you can just use stripped dark oak, or you can use unstripped dark oak logs or wood. They don't really quite match dark oak. That's the thing. You can have spruce matches, stripped spruce logs match spruce wood, spruce planks perfectly, but dark oak just doesn't match its logs and wood and planks and stuff. It's weird to me. It matches unstripped spruce logs perfectly. This one I wanted to have a few roof designs, a few roofs on one, and have each be a different height. And the roofs are, usually I do only fully logs or fully spruce planks and stairs. This one I wanted to have a mixture of both to give it a bigger, beefier fantasy house kind of feel. Have beefy house. Then I added a little back section where it was kind of shed or kind of like a root cellar kind of build in the back where it was just like a slab roof. And then I did miscount one of those sections I made, and so I did have to remove that, not remove, but remove. Then I changed that, and then just continued the roof designs all the way through. And I did trapdoors, and I also make it where in the center, where the center of the roof lines up with like the columns, I have it where there's a log going up to the roof, so it looks like the roof is supported by something. It's not just going to cave in on itself. Stuff like that. And I try to make it where it has like real world physics to it, even though it's like not actually in the real world. So like the roofs don't cave in and the walls don't crumble apart. Like, I don't know, that's just me. I don't know. Then I started filling in the roofs. This one I used a little bit different block palette than I usually do. I used honeycomb blocks of raw gold, and it was either yellow concrete or yellow terracotta. A great tool that you can use to figure out blocks like this, I used the Axiom mod, and that has a color picker, and I put in honeycomb blocks, and it came with raw gold and like yellow concrete and yellow terracotta, and I just picked which ones I wanted. Or you can use the gradient tool. Or if you don't have Java, Minecraft, or you don't have mods, you can use a really good website, and it's called blockpalettes.com. And blockpalettes.com has a bunch of different block palettes by different builders and players. And you can have it where there's different blocks you can search up for different palettes. I use it a lot to figure out and get inspiration. Or you can like spend an afternoon or two going through and finding blocks and stuff. It's a really good practice to play around with colors or designs and stuff. Or you can go on Pinterest, and that has good roof designs, that has good house layouts, a bunch of different stuff. There's so many resources to look for colors and designs and stuff. And here I'm just filling in the roofs, kind of making it a gradient sort of thing. I'm pretty sure it would be darker on top if this was a real roof. But this one I made it just yellow on top. It makes it look a little bit taller if you go from darker to lighter, whether that's on wall or roof designs, but it's a weird illusion. It just like makes it look taller. And I wanted this one to be a bigger build, so I tried to give that illusion as much as possible. Then I started filling in these smaller roof. Now, I'm playing on 1.21.11. We don't have concrete stairs or concrete slabs or wool stairs or wool slabs. So I'm just stuck with the traditional blocks. And I was going through and picking, there's not really a matching yellow kind of or orange kind of slab or stair. Then I added a little bit of railing, fences, and gates to the balcony. Then I did hanging beehives. This is one of my favorite design choices I did with this build. Oh, I love it. I just have it where there's like hanging beehives hanging from the roof. Oh, I love it. I did wax lightning rods and wax copper bars with bee nests and with jungle trapdoors underneath. And I love it. I love it so much. I love that design choice. It's perfect and it looks really good and it matches like the steampunk honey design that I wanted. Then I added some mud brick walls, dark oak fence, dark oak gates to the roof. Then I started working on the foundation. Now, I usually don't go for like a bright foundation. I either go for like mud brick or packed mud. But this one I did red concrete, some mangrove wood, and mangrove planks. And I just thought the brighter color would match the yellow and the browns. Like display really nice contrast. And it worked really good. I'm gonna have to use red a lot more. And then I started filling in the walls with oak planks and birch planks. And then I just did a small amount of texturing where I did stripped birch wood and stripped birch oak wood. Stripped oak wood and stripped birch wood. So many different stripped items. And I was just filling in each wall. What I like to do is just fill in the walls first and then texture it. It helps a lot more to do it that way, and then trying to do it all at once. And then I was just going around, filling in the walls, texturing, putting in all the blocks. A little bit tedious to fill in all of the blocks, but really worth it ultimately to do it. I mean, you can use like World Edit or Axiom to have it texture for you, but I like going in by hand because I can do it where I can have like, oh, this one has too many planks, I can put more logs here. This one has too many logs, vice versa. And then I just did that. Then I started working on a floor design for the balcony area. I liked one design where it was stripped dark oak wood, and then it had like terracotta. But this one, the terracotta wasn't really matching, and so I made it with packed mud and mud bricks. Then I started punching the windows for the build, and I tried to do like a 1x3 hole for the windows, and then if there's not space to do a good 1x3 window, I'll do a 2x3 window, because having the thinner window, I just personally like it. And then I add stair on top to make I don't know what it does. I like using glass panes, and I think having stairs makes it look better. Then I started texturing the columns and the pillars for the house, the logs, and then I just did spruce shelves, barrels, and spruce trapdoors. And you can do as much or as little texturing as you want, and then it makes the logs pop out of the walls more instead of actually making the walls and the pillars separated and having the pillars more out. You can just do a bit of texturing, and it really makes the build stand out more. I don't know why, but I love it. I love it so much. So many things I love about building. I could go on and on and on. But I was just putting as many or as little everywhere. You can do where you texture the logs from the inside and the outside at the same time, but I just like doing it where I go in and you texture the pillars on the inside if you want to later. Then I made like a little place, like a little smaller roof outside. I thought that was a really cute little storage addition, maybe. Then I added flower beds all around, and I used spruce shelves and spruce trapdoors. Then I filled them with moss, grass blocks, and podzol. Then I put in ferns, bushes, short dry grass, orange tulips, and firefly bushes. And I think short grass as well. And just having that gives a little bit of variation to it. Then I started working on the flooring on the inside, and I just went with the same floor pattern that I did for the balcony, where it was stripped dark oak wood, mud bricks and packed mud. And it's a very nice floor design. And I just went in, putting it, and you can do it if you're just trying to make this like a quick build. You can use Axiom and like do it where like a pattern for this, but I just personally like going in by hand. Then I was fixing some of the columns from the inside. I keep calling them columns, I'm pretty sure it's a better term for it. I just going in, fixing it, then I put in the floor. And there was like a little loft area, and so I put in a floor for that. Sorry, I have a bit of a stuffy nose right now. So, if I sniffle a little bit, that's why. And then I just put it in the floor. I look around, and then I punched a little hole for spiral staircase. Then I added a little staircase up to like a little loft area. Then I added my staircase to the first floor. And there's just spruce slabs, spruce stairs, spruce trapdoors, stripped spruce log, mud walls, and spruce fence. Then I added some spruce slabs and spruce trapdoors to the underside of the roof, and repeated that for each section. Then I started working a bit on the kitchen. This one tricked me up a little bit for the countertop design I wanted. I started off with beehives, and I went to stone. Then I went with smokers and barrels and stuff. And one of my favorite tricks to do for like the hood for a stove is using a backwards lectern. And it looks like a hood, but it isn't. And I just love that. Then I added some turtle eggs, a little pot with an azure bluet, and I added some hanging roots, candles, and some glowberries. And the glowberries it's like complementary to the red, contrasting the yellow and the wood. It's like perfect. Then I added like a little honey kind of storage shelf area. I'm sure if you're a beekeeper, you would eat a lot of honey. And this is a fantasy world, so I just made it where it was like a place and it was like pouring out honey. I added campfires and lanterns and barrels, and had it where the honey was pouring into like a barrel. Then I had glowberries hanging from the ceiling, and I added a rug. My friend calls it a Zygarde cell rug because it's one of Pokemon's from Pokemon ZA. Then I made a little table countertop. If you hear a dog barking in the background, I don't know if you can, but that's my dog. He's barking at somebody. Then I added some lanterns around. Then I made a little beehive candle barrel storage area. You can't see it right now because the camera wasn't over there, but I added just like a little bit of lighting, a point of interest, storage kind of thing. You can also have bees inside, and so that's useful. Then the front of the house started to look a little bit boring. So I added some hanging glowberries and some shelves and some painting. I like using turtle eggs a lot, but I never use them when I build in survival. Then on top of the balcony, I started using some beehives. And I just started putting some barrels and some campfires, some candles, and just using that. It makes like a little kind of storage area. Then I made some flower beds, and I made it with the spruce shells, spruce trap doors, podzol, grass blocks, moss, short grass, short dry grass, orange, tulips, firefly bushes, regular bushes, any kind of blocks you want or foliage you want. And I also did a little bit of like decoration where I did campfires and trapdoors along some of the horizontal lugs. And then I made like a little hanging beehive. Then I added some lanterns and lighting. The lanterns paired really well with the roof. And I have a little bed in the loft area. There's like a little fence and gate. I have some candles, a pot, and I've got glowberries. I love using glowberries. Love plants in my builds. They look so amazing. And I added a barrel underneath the stairs for storage. Then I added a little enchanting setup library area on one of the lofts. I did make sure it was a level 30 enchanting setup, so it like fully functional, but it was still decorated with some chiseled bookshelves, and I added some plants and lanterns and candles and stuff around. Usually when I build stuff, I don't make it like a functional base or starter base or anything. So when I build like an enchanting setup like that, I don't really make it for function. I make it for because it's pretty, and if somebody wants to use it for an enchanting setup, then okay. And then I made it where there's like hanging beehives from the ceiling, so you could have like bees inside the house too. I really wanted to build this like on 26.1 and then have it where there's like little baby bees and bees around, but I was on 1.21.11, so I couldn't. Then I add some shelves and add it where there's like cauldrons that the honey was dripping into. And just added like a little counter. There was like sea pickles, really good. Whether you use them for like actual like greenery or you use them for like cups, really good. Then I started working on the outside of the house, like all the pathways and grass and stuff. I added dirt path, mud bricks, packed mud, stone bricks, cracked stone bricks for like the major blocks. Oh, and also moss and moss carpets for the block palette for it. And I was just going in, making sure it looked like a natural curve and putting blocks where I thought blocks could be put. If that makes any sense whatsoever. And then I textured with a bit of moss for the grass. And depending on what biome it is, the grass might look a little bit too drab and gray to use moss. But this was in the plains biome, so it was in a super flat world, so it was like plains. Then I added jungle buttons and stone buttons, pots, and different plants around the pathway to give it a little bit of greenery and a little bit of life. And then I added some lamps around. Oh, and firefly bushes. Firefly bushes are amazing. I bone mealed around the pathway, that's where I was looking for, and I added some frog lights. You can use any light source block you want. You can use sea lanterns or glowstone or shroom lights or even torches, but personally for me, I just prefer like the green kind of cool light that frog lights give, especially for my shaders, but you can use any light source block that you want. And then I covered it up with some moss carpets. Also helps texture the grass along with helping with mob spawning, like monster spawning. And I also added some lamp designs for decoration. I did a lamp design with lodestones, acacia buttons, brick walls, waxed lightning rods, waxed copper bars, dark oak stair, dark oak trapdoor, dark oak slab, dark oak gate. Then I did wax copper chains and wax coppered lanterns. I thought the orange and the green lanterns they're just amazing. They're brilliant. And then I've made some chimneys on the roof. The chimneys don't connect to any like furnaces or smelters or anything inside the actual build. They're purely for decoration, and I probably could have made them connect to something, but I didn't. I did waxed cut copper blocks, waxed copper blocks, some acacia shells, waxed copper trapdoors, waxed copper bars, and campfires. Added some lighting. But thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye!